Here we go. Hey, how's it going? Coach D here from All Out Athletes. And we're back again with our 13th Last Dance Baseball Tournament podcast. And we're back again with Coach Chris Banos from Somerville High School, but it was called the Branchburg Bulldogs. And he went 2-1. He got 2 wins out of 3. That last game, your team was going nuts against Immaculata. That energy, you would have thought it was a World Series game, the energy they had. So once again, let's welcome back Somerville High School varsity baseball coach, Group 3 champions, Coach Chris Banos. Coach, how's it going?
Good, Coach B. How are you? Thanks for having me back on. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great. If you made anybody happy, you made Bridgewater happy that game.
Yeah, not very many times does Bridgewater or Somerville root for each other, but Bridgewater needed us yesterday.
Yeah, so just so some people know out there, most of the divisions is like 1A and 1B. And then whoever goes 2-0 in 1A plays the team that went 2-0 in 1B.
Right.
But in this division, there was no A or B. It was just 8. And there were 4 teams. And the way they did it was, if you wound up 2-1, which 3 teams did, Immaculata was 2-0 going against the Branchburg. They ran into the Branchburg Bulldogs, and they beat them. So Immaculata, Branchburg, and Bridgewater Raritan were all 2-1. And the tiebreaker is how many runs you let up in 3 games in 21 innings. How many runs do you let up? Well, Bridgewater, I think, let up 2 runs.
2 runs.
I think it was 2 runs. So once Immaculata let up 3 runs, then Bridgewater's like, all right, Somerville, let's go. Now we just need you to win the game. And they did. And I got to tell you, Coach, the energy of that team, I'm like, wow, this is insane. Strikeout. They went nuts as if it was the bottom of the 7th and it was a walk-off strikeout. They went nuts as if everything was a walk-off.
Yeah. It was, even the first game when we played Bridgewater was sort of the same thing. Great crowds. And the kids, obviously, this was sort of kind of, like you said, a strikeout in the first inning, the kids were amped up, pitchers come running off the mound. You don't really see that in a regular season game. But it was good. The kids really needed this. It was fun to coach the seniors one last time. But as far as our experience, even though we didn't advance, I couldn't have asked for anything more.
And your energy's up. I mean, I'm sure they knew that they couldn't advance to the next round.
You think that? Yeah, I think most of the guys kind of figured that going into it was going to be a little bit difficult for us to advance. But that's what makes us. The kids, even though we knew we couldn't advance, we played a good hard 7 innings. It helped that we were playing our in-town rival Immaculata, or as they were called, the Spartans. So that kind of helped. But when you have good kids and good players, regardless of whether they can advance or not, they play to their capability.
And I can't stress enough. That's all we talk about, All Out Athletes, is energy. So when I sit there and I see the energy of your team going crazy now, as you said, it helps with the rival, but they knew, so their job, they wanted to stop the Spartans from getting to the next round. And as you're talking about it, you could have that energy every game. There are times where the underdog wins. They out-energize the other team. And how could you ever switch momentum in a game, especially a game like baseball, with no energy, right? Anybody can get up in the first inning, get up in the 7th inning, but so they showed you, Coach, they can have that energy all game. It's there. It's there for everybody.
Yeah, it helps when you have good leadership. Our seniors provided that. We had a few kids that have some varsity experience already, and they kind of been through it. So, it's just been an expectation since we got here that, our dugout's going to be energized, and the kids know that. And, it also makes the game more fun. If you're sitting in a dugout and the kids are sort of sitting on their hands and, no one's really talking or cheering for each other, let's be honest, it's extremely boring, and, nobody really wants to be there for that kind of atmosphere.
Now, especially baseball, because baseball is slow moving as opposed to like other sports. So if you can bring that energy in baseball, most teams will not bring it all game long. And if you can bring that energy all game long, you have a huge advantage, especially that one kid that's feeling down. They often when they strike out, and now they're going up a second time. They need that energy. They go up a second time. You're down 5-0. Anybody can get excited when you hit a home run or the walk-off, but can you do it all the time? And that's what we're talking about. But, Coach, you talk about some great – you talked about last time how great leaders create great athletes. And when you started that, all the coaches said the same thing that you're saying. How's your team going to be this year? Depends on our seniors. Depends on our leaders, right? Who's the leader? And it sounds like that your leaders did a great job throughout this tournament.
Yeah. Like I said this numerous times to the coach today that, I have great seniors. I've had great seniors all the years that I've been at Somerville. So I've been extremely blessed. But, our kids really fed off of, especially we pitched, a senior our first day. He was bouncing all over the place. And, he's the kind of kid that even if he's not in the game at that particular moment, he's kind of all over the place and, talking to the other kids, making sure that they're ready. If they make a mistake, it's all right. He gets on them, in a good way and encourages them and says, we're going to need them. And, when you have good kids like that, it's kind of easy to coach.
Did you give out the bow?
No, we didn't do the bow. The bow's in school, so we really can't get in there. So I didn't want to go into school. I just left it in there.
All right. So you didn't give out any award, or you didn't do?
No, we didn't do that. I thought about it, but then I didn't want to go into school unless I absolutely had to.
And one of the reasons you have the bow is to bring up that energy too, where the kids could work together. But I don't think with a tournament like the Last Dance baseball tournament, I don't think you need anything extra.
To be honest with you, going into the first game, I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. We practiced together. The kids practiced together. Some of the alumni came back and helped out. I was able to be there on Monday before. But, when kids have kind of been all over the place with their travel teams, we weren't sure coming back that's sort of what the atmosphere was going to be like. But when we played Bridgewater that first game, it was like a state tournament atmosphere. Fans were hanging on every pitch. Every pitch was important. Every play was important. And, so that was great to see. And then, the second game against Berners, we were able to take advantage of a few of their mistakes. Kind of put them away. And then obviously when you're playing Immaculata, it really doesn't matter what you're playing them in. You want to beat them, or at least have a good showing against them. And, our pitcher threw awesome. And we got a few clutch hits that we didn't get against Bridgewater, but we were able to get them on was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, Coach, you got some big pitchers on that team.
Yeah, our first pitcher who pitched is going to the University of Maryland. So obviously, he's very good. We were looking forward to what he was going to bring. And our second pitcher was our second two pitchers were seniors, okay, and we were going to expect a lot from them. And they came through. And then our last pitcher is going to be a senior, so it was very good to see how he was able to come through that. And we're looking forward to him next year.
So, Coach, you have any last words for your seniors? Have any last words for your team or your seniors?
Yeah, I told our seniors after the game, I kind of thanked them just for, obviously we didn't get to have the tournament, but their preparation for the season this year was awesome. I thought we had the best weight room we had since we started it. The kids were really getting after it, and I thought it was because of the seniors. I can't thank them enough for what they've done. I don't teach in the school, so they kind of handle a lot of the in the school stuff. And, if anytime I needed something, they took care of it. They'd even go out on their own and do stuff and say, hey, Coach, we were talking about this. You think it'd be okay if we did this? And, every time they did, it was something good. They started having I guess you call it like lunches at someone's house. They call it the game train, just to kind of get the kids together and build a little bit of camaraderie. And that was our seniors' idea. And to our team, I told them, these are the kind of games that we want to play. We want to be, win or lose, we want to be in intense games, which is part of the reason why we're moving up a division. We're actually going to be with Bridgewater and Immaculata and teams like that, and we want to be able to compete, and I think it'll help us in the counties and in the states. And so I told them, be prepared for this kind of baseball all the time. Mentally it's tough on you, but I think in the long run, I would rather be in intense games than 15-1, 10-0, stuff like that, because I don't think you gain anything out of that.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. That whether you win or lose, it's more exciting to lose 5-4 or 6-4, or than lose 15, or then even win 15-1.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of it?
Right, and plus, sometimes you can get away with things in the regular season, that you can't get away with in the States. Like in Bridgewater, we had bases loaded and 1 out twice, and we didn't get the run in. That's stuff that if you don't do that in the state tournament, you're not gonna advance. So, it puts a lot of pressure on you when you're playing teams that are bigger than you, and in some cases better than you, and you got to be on top of your game. So the more you do that, I think the better off you are in the long run.
Yeah, Coach, you make a great point, because you're saying we want to be challenged the whole game. So if we're up 10-1 and there's no challenge there, what do you do when you're not challenged? You relax. Right. So you train, like we talk here, you train to hold back. You don't train to go all out. When you're down in a close game, you got to go all out the whole game. But some games, when you don't have a challenge, you could sleep through half the game and still win some of these games if you're not challenged enough. And the thing is, Coach is saying you want to train to go all, you want to train against that challenge, because that's what the state games are. It's a challenge every single pitch, every single inning, everything is a challenge from first inning to the 7th inning. And those 15-1 games don't prepare you for that at all. Because normally, right, we said good is the enemy of great. So they're thinking, we're good, we got this. And you're saying, no, don't worry about the end result. Just go all out. But, there's a scoreboard there. You're going to look at the scoreboard and you're going to relax. And it's nature, right? It seems like human nature to do that.
Yeah, for us, I think one of the main reasons why we're sort of moving is not that we dominated or anything like that. We didn't win the division every year. We weren't 10-1 ruling every year, but we were trying to get to the point where every game is sort of like a mental grind for us, because I think that's how you become more mentally strong. If you're just in, just the grind, like the other games, just baseball's not really a physical game. It's not like football. You could just start coming out and knocking people's heads off. But in baseball, like we said, we had bases loaded, 1 out, and we didn't get the job done. So hopefully next year we're more mentally prepared in that situation. Against Immaculata, we had a guy on second base, no outs. I think 3 times, and all 3 times we struck out. Right? Like, that's not going to get it done. We got to make sure. So, but when you play teams that are better than you, you can't get away with stuff. And I'm looking forward to what the next year is going to bring, because I think our guys are ready for the challenge.
Chris, let's just hold for a second, because it wasn't matching up with your mouth. I don't care. I'll drop it anyway.
Right.
You said some good stuff, and so Chris, you still rooting for the Yankees?
Of course. Can't wait for tonight.
All right, we're good. You're okay.
Yeah, I think it's the Chromebook. It's on a delay.
All right. So Coach Chris, so you have any last words for the other teams that are still in it, that are moving on, and the players who are moving on into the regional, into the, what is it? There's 32 teams left.
I believe that's the case. Yeah, I mean, I wish we were advancing, but obviously we're not. I wish Bridgewater good luck. Right, you always want to lose to the champion. So hopefully they make the run. And I told the guys out there, it'll be the last time we're ever rooting for you. But it was fun having Bridgewater sitting by us rooting, and for us, that's what it was all about. yeah, we didn't advance, but we got to play in an atmosphere that was so good. You know, I can't thank the guys who were behind the scenes at this. You know, I can't imagine what they went through to get this taken care of. And you know, I think for the most part, I think it was all good. You know, the kids had fun. I know that. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I forgot how tiring it was to coach. I was kind of got a little bit of extra sleep there. I was a little mentally drained, but yeah, just to be around the coaches and the kids, and it was, you know, I couldn't really ask for anything more. And you know, hopefully Bridgewater, you know, can make a nice little run. And they definitely had to, you know, they have a good team. They're a very good team, you know. So I think that they can, but. And if they don't, I'm sure they're going to enjoy playing at Skylands and playing in the minor league park and stuff like that. But, you know, all in all, I think it was an A+. You know, I think we couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah, thanks to 222 teams. Thanks to the idea of Mike Murray, the athletic director and head varsity baseball coach at St. Joe's and Metuchen, John Kroger, major league scout for the Cincinnati Reds, and Brian Chapman from Milburn High School. These guys put it all together. And I don't think sometimes players even realize, even just regular games of a season, the amount of people that are involved and the amount of heart they put into what they do. So your players, coach, and every player can have that one moment to have, well, that you had many moments, that excitement. And without Murray, Chapman, and Kroger doing that, we're not sitting here, right? No one's going to the regionals on two. You know, there's no nothing. There's no excitement, and that's what sports is all about: is living in the moment. And because of those three guys, they created this for the seniors and for everybody involved, and I think it was a great thing. So, Coach, thanks for coming on with us. I'm sure you'll come back on for the opening of next season. We'll talk about next season. Of course, we're staying positive that there is going to be a season, and otherwise we're going to have the second Last Dance tournament again next year.
Yeah, as much as I love the Last Dance, I hope it's one and done. You know, because if they have to have this again, I don't think that means it was good news. But once again, Coach D, I want to thank you for having me on. Got to reconnect with you. We hadn't seen each other in a while, so it was good to see you again. But, you know, I wish you good luck with it. And if you ever need me to come on, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to come on and talk. I love talking baseball and stuff like that. So whenever you want, let me come on.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's probably been about 7 or 8 years since we've actually seen each other. The first time we saw each other was the last podcast we did a couple weeks ago. That was the first time we saw each other in about 7 or 8 years. So so it's great. Chris, thanks for coming on, Coach. I really appreciate it. I appreciate those words, and we'll have you on again next year. And are you going to any games? What are you doing the rest of the summer?
My son plays baseball, so I coach his team during the week, and then he's also on another team on the weekends. So I'm kind of following him around and just watching him and enjoying that and stuff like that.
So you can't get away from it, huh? You're not
getting. No, I definitely can't get away from it.
And now Major League Baseball is starting again, so you can watch your precious Yankees.
I know. I can't wait.
So, who's winning the World Series this year? Don't say you're going to say the Yankees.
I mean, it's not even going to be close. The Yankees.
Yeah, be close.
Unless someone
close the last few years for the Yankees.
Listen, unless another team wants to cheat again.
Here we go. Because they were the only ones, right? They were the only team cheating.
No, they definitely weren't the only team. They just cheated the best.
So, all right, Coach, thanks for coming on. And we'll see everybody next time. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Good luck, Coach, for next year. Enjoy the rest of the summer. We still got half the summer to go. And you've had some great nights for baseball for the last few nights. It wasn't humid outside. It was beautiful. And with no humidity, there's no bugs. And hopefully we can get that again coming this week. So far, the Last Dance Baseball Tournament's been awesome. And thanks to Coach Chris coming on and all the coaches who have made the All Out Athletes podcast what it is so far. Thanks a lot, Coach. And we'll see everybody next time at the Last Dance Baseball Tournament podcast. Thanks, Coach.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, Coach D here. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you to Coach Chris Banos. It's always great having you on. And thank you to the Branchburg Bulldogs. As a coach and as a fan, it was awesome to watch that championship energy come together. And if you wake up too motivated for your Mondays, then you're not going to like what's coming on in just about 40 seconds. Here comes a sneak peek of your Monday morning igniter that drops tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It will change the way you train. And on tomorrow night's Last Dance Baseball Tournament podcast, one of the most winningest coaches in New Jersey history with 427 wins, the Eastern Regional High School Varsity Boys Baseball coach, Rob Chris. So join us for that. Here's your sneak peek for your Monday morning igniter. Lions are the best hunters. They want to be the best. Eyes in front like to hunt. But lambs, horses, and birds, eyes on the side, like to hide. Who are they hiding from? They're hiding from the best. Are you hiding from the best? Oh, I don't want to play that team. They beat us by 30 last time. Hopefully they'll only beat us by 20. Are you the hunter or are you the prey? You don't have to be the best to train at your best. If you're not at your best, you have no chance against the best. Then you'll never be the hunter. You'll spend your whole sports career as the prey. You're either hunting for the best or you're being hunted by the best.